the last Excel class. Hopefully you guys are comfortable now using Excel. Starting next week, we'll start with Tableau, but we're going to continue here with the pivot charts as a refresher and build the final dashboard. So we started with this one. Today we're going to do another one. That will be the final one that you can use for your final project. And in Classroom, I added two files earlier. I added the final project file, and then I added also the file that I'm sharing right now in the screen. So you guys can always go back and look at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our pivot table. So last week, we did the average length of care, we did the patient count, we did the admission type, and then we also did the total billing per insurance, and we created this new dashboard here. Okay, so we're going to do another dashboard, and this time around, insurance and gender will be the filters that are not going to be used in the chart. Okay, so, and then I'm going also to introduce the timeline filter. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and then start the new pivot table. Yes, any question?
Yeah, quick question. Like your dashboard, can I have a look at your dashboard just for me? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at the slicer at the end.
Mhm.
Okay, I can ask after class so that you can continue in progress. Because
Okay, no.
I did mine like that, but I didn't have the slicer on it. I tried to practice and do it exactly like that, but it's different. But
Uh,
I'll share with you. But you can go
okay,
ahead to the class back.
all right, no problem. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and start with our pivot table. Go to insert, pivot table, down arrow, and then Excel will select the whole range. Always make sure it's in the new worksheet. Okay, and then we're going to call this one timeline. Okay, so in timeline here, we're going to use a date column, and then in that date column, we're going to see the billing amount. So how much was insurance billed over a certain time frame. Okay. To do that, I'm going to drag the date of admission because that's the most important date. The discharge date is fine too, but the date admission is like the start date. So we're gonna start with that one, and then we're going to drag and drop it in rows. Now, as you can see, when you drag and drop it in rows, Excel automatically parse the dates in years, quarters, month, and then the actual days. Okay, so for this specific one, before introducing the timeline, we're going to take years, bring it to filter, quarters, we'll bring it to filter, and month, we'll bring it to filters. And then when we do that, date of admission stays by itself, and then now you have every single date that is in our data set. And as you can see, it starts in 2019, and I think it goes all the way to 2024. Okay. Now, we're continuing here. We're going to take the billing amount, and then we're going to drag and drop it in value. So it will sum the billing amount, meaning for a specific day, let's say on May 8th, 2019, this is how much was generated. So $624,199. Okay. Now, when you have it like this, we have everything. It's kind of a lot, because you end up with a lot of dates here. Okay.
Right.
Now we have our filters here. And then the filters, the first one allows us to filter by year. So we'll put select multiple items, and then we can remove that and just pick the year 2022. Now it's going to only list the dates on the year 2022. Okay. And then if you want to go, you can also go further down to go to the second layer on the quarters. Okay, you have the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. And I know in many companies, the first quarter is usually from January to March 31st, and then the second quarter starts. But for those that have a different fiscal year, usually starts from October 1st to December. So it's really depend on the company, but Excel just start the quarter from January here, and then you can do year 2022, and then, okay, you just want to know everything from the third quarter of 2022, and then you'll just select everything from the third quarter of 2022. Now, in the third quarter, you have July, August, and September. So you can still filter it, narrow it down to a single month, and then just pick, okay, I'm just gonna pick September. And okay, now you have you have filtered your data in 3 different layers by the year, the quarter, and the month. Okay, so this one can appear like a lot of work. Okay, now remember earlier I showed you guys the slicer, okay, on how to filter data. But for this kind of data, especially with dates, there is the timeline. Okay, so when I click on timeline, it will automatically pick the 2 dates field or columns that we have in our data set. And then as we're using the date of admission, I'm going to click on date of admission, and I'm going to click OK. And then when I do that, this slicer looking would I mean, I don't know how I can call it, but this slicer looking I don't know if I can call it let's just call it an object. Okay, will just pop out, and then here now you have all the month listed, but I mean it's a drag and drop, so all the years and month are here. So how do you use the timeline? You can literally use it as the slicer. Okay, so a quick explanation of the timeline here. Right here where it's written month, there's a down arrow. So here you can either start by year, by quarters, by month, or the actual day. Okay. Now, let's say earlier we're using the filter here, and we pick the year 2023. Okay. Instead of using my filter, I'm using the timeline, easy and quick. It goes to 2023. And then if I want to do for quarters, okay, instead of filtering year 2022, fourth quarter, I can just come here, I click on quarter, and I go to year 2022, the fourth quarter, and then it will select everything for you. Okay, and you do that to remove the filter, and then you can do that also with month. Okay, so you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do February 2023. Okay, and then you'll just take everything from February 2023 and filter it. That's the beauty of using the timeline. So instead of using the filters, go one by one, you can just do it with a click, and then it'll just go your way. Okay, so now I have my data here, a pivot table. So I'm going to call it timeline. And then to that, I'm going to add a chart, because from my chart, I want to see if there is a trend on what was built. Okay, so I'm going to go to pivot chart, and I'm going to pick a line chart here. Let's pick this one. Okay, I have my line chart, and this is the chart that is going to be on top of our dashboard. So I'm going to make it a bit long. So now this is my chart. Okay, so I have every month, everything on the month of February 2023, from the 1st to the 28th. Okay, so now let's see if I do November 2022. Okay, now let me see if I can do the year, because when you undo the filter, so everything will appear again. And then I want to stay in year 2024, and then the quarters. So let's say third quarter of 2024. So there's no data there. Second quarter, there's data. Fourth quarter, there's no data. So 2024, everything stops at the second quarter. Okay, now you have our timeline here, and then we'll keep it at that. So let's just keep, let's just put January 2024, February. Okay, let's just pick one that is a full year, okay? So this will be our chart, okay? Now, you can always design it the way you want. Pick any design that you want here, okay? It's really up to you. There is no anything set in stone. I'm going to pick this one, okay? And then let me make it a little bit longer. All right, so when you click on your chart, you can always add the labels, but hey, if you add the labels here, you know, it kind of overlaps. Okay, it really is up to you. The trend line, I'm not sure how important it is here, but this is our data set. You can always go on the home here and then make everything in white so it's much more clear. Okay, and then let's see if we can format this axis. Because okay, so I'm gonna do, let's see if it change. Right now it's like the x-axis is slightly tilted, so let's see if we can pick shorter dates. But then if we pick shorter dates, it will not show everything. Let's just leave it as is. Okay, for the sake of this data set. Okay, so what does this tell you? This only shows you the trend of what was spent in December 2023. from the beginning to the end. Okay, so if you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna add labels in it, you can add labels. It's going to be a little crowded, even if you kind of push it all the way. Okay, it's a bit crowded, but I think you kind of get the picture. Or you tell yourself, just want to do the third quarter, the first quarter of 2023. And then if you kind of probably get confused, or let's say you click here and you don't know where it really is, when you look up here, it lets you know this is the fourth quarter of 2023. And then you see the trend here from the first, started good, and then it's like go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. There's no clear trend because it's oscillating all the way through. Okay, so this is how you use your timeline in a data set that has any date field, and that's how we can do our first data, our first chart for this for today. So before I move on, any question before we go to the next one? Okay. All right, so let's go to our next chart. And then there's one reason why I haven't formatted this in dollars, because remember last time when we tried to copy, the next chart was showing everything in dollars. So we'll fix that after I made my copy. So my chart here, let me give it a name. So I'm gonna call it line chart. This is our first chart. Okay. All right. So last week we did the admission type chart. Okay. And then it was this one, but I want to change it to a pie chart. Okay. So for the sake of not, no, I can do it here because it will not affect the dashboard. Okay. So to do that, let's say you already have your dashboard here and you're like, oh my God, I need to change the chart. Can I do it all over again? No, it's very simple. When you click on your chart, you go to design, and then from design, here under type, there is change type. When you click on that, this window will appear, and then from here, you can pick any chart that you want, okay? And then for this one, I want to do a 3D pie chart, okay? 3D pie chart, click OK. So now let me change it like this, or this. I think this one will be good, okay? Again, for the colors, be free to pick any color you want. Today, I'm gonna move out of the box and then I'm gonna make a colorful dashboard. So no monochromatic colors today. Okay, so I'm just going to change this one. As you can see, the labels are slightly small, so I can make it a bit bigger. Let's say 12. Okay, and I'm gonna make it in white. Let me bold it. Okay. So for the labels, okay, I just need the percentage. I didn't need the whole thing. Okay. Bold, white, okay. It's showing. I have my legend. Okay. So far, so good. Any question about this dashboard? All right, there's another dashboard that I want to change here. It's the average length of care. And then this one, I want to do it differently. Okay, so remember last time we did it as a pie chart, but this time around, I don't want to do it as a pie chart, but I was trying to do something different. What I mean by that, I'm going to, first of all, remove this thing, okay? And then I'm going to remove also the insurance provider from the role field. So now it leaves me with this average length of care. And then from here, I only have this one. And then since I'm going to use the insurance as slicers, I'm going to add my slicer here already. So insurance provider and gen. Okay. So when I click OK, so my slicers stays here. And then I'll show you guys in a bit why I'm doing that. Okay. So I have my average length of care. I have the admission type. I have the patient count by blood type. Okay. Now, another thing. So patient count by blood type. Okay, that's good. Let me add also the patient count here. Okay, so I'm going to use the same logic. I'm going to move or copy, create a copy, and then I'm gonna call it patients photo. And then here, let me change it to blood type count. Okay, so patient total. Let me change your color. Okay, so here, instead of the average length of care, I'm going to remove it and I'm going to drag and drop last name, or I even can drag and drop gender, but I'll drag and drop last name and then it'll give me the total here. So, okay, my slicers are working. Okay, good. So I have patient total, I have the average length of care so far. And then one more thing that I wanted to add as this was the average age, because I want to see what the average age per patient. Okay, and everything we're doing here is going to build up pretty soon. Okay, so let me go ahead, create another copy here. And I'm going to call it average age. Okay. And then when I do the average age, let me change the color. Okay. And here, instead of count of last name, I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to put age, not sum of age, but remember, you can do it from here or you can do it from here. Field setting, and then come to average. All right, so give me the average age overall. Let me see if my slicers are working. Perfect. The numbers are changing. Nice. Okay. So far, so good. So I have the patient total. I have the average length of care. I have the average age so far. I have the blood type count, admission type. I have my timeline to see the trends. Okay, so far, our dashboard is building up nicely and surely. So now, when you go back to our data set, there are a few things that we can also use as metric here that we haven't touched yet. So I think, let me check here. Okay, great. So the test result, the medication, and the medical condition haven't been touched yet. Okay, so from our dashboard here, let's go ahead and create, not from our dashboard, from our pivot table, let's go ahead and create 3 different charts for our data set. Okay, so let me, this one is a little crowded, so I'm going to use the ones from our dashboard here. I can even use this one. All I just need is a copy and then create my copy. Okay, let me bring it anywhere. Okay, from here, I'm going to call this one medical condition. Okay, I'll move this. I put the medical conditions here. And then, so for a medical condition, instead of using the billing amount to see how much was spent in there, I'm still going to use the last name to see the count of patients that were actually there. Okay. So now somebody can say, oh, we're using only the count. What if there is 2 people who have the same last name? Is it going to count them as 1 or as 2? Okay, as long as we use count of last name, it's going to count everything. If we used count distinct, okay, like it is in SQL or others, so the count distinct will only count the first occurrence of a specific variable or data point. Okay, so now that we use count, count is just counting everything. And then to make sure, let's see in our totals if it's going to show the 55,000 on row. I want to see the total. Okay, as you can see, our total is still showing, so it's counting everything. Okay, so I have that, and then let me pick a chart here. I'm thinking, let me do a donut chart for this one. Okay, so I have my donut chart. So instead of showing, let's say design, let's see what we have here. No, no. Again, this is personal appreciation. It's really up to what the person was doing, the dashboard. Again, it's not about the color, but it's about the inside of your data. Okay, so let's see here. It's showing me the numbers. Do I want to see the numbers or do I want to see the percentage? Okay. Okay, so again, how did I do that? Let me go back. I was in my chart. I came to plus here. When you click on plus, this little window pop out. When you click data label, it will just show you the label according to each of the legend here. And here the legend are different medical conditions. But I really don't feel like putting the labels here. So I want to see the actual percentage instead of the label. So on labels here, this arrow will pop out. You come to more option. When more option comes, showed up, this window pops out. Okay. So instead of value, I'm going to pick percentage. I'll put it again. Option, label options. I want to see the percentage and not the value. Okay, perfect. Another percentage. Showing rounded numbers. That's what I don't. Showing rounded numbers. So I'm just gonna leave it at the values. Because if I leave it at 17%, 17%, 17%, let me see, there's a bit more the option to numbers, general, decimal places. Okay, it's showing decimal places, but there are no decimal places. No. This will just throw the whole thing off. So just leave it at showing the labels, or maybe labels and percentage. Okay, let's try that one. Okay. So labels and percentage, and then this one work. Okay, I'm gonna leave it as is, and then let me put it in black, and put it bigger. Okay, nice. Now, make up my mind here and only pick one. Either I want the percentage or I want the value. Okay, let me leave the value. Okay, so now I have my medical conditions here listed, and then the test result will be our next one. Let me real quick here, create copy. But it's test results. Okay. Here for the test result, first of all, let me remove that. And then the test result, do I also want to see the number of patients or the billing amounts, which is very, very, very key. So since we are working not on the financial capacity, but more on the healthcare, so I'm just gonna stay with the count of last name. Okay, so this works. Okay, so we're going to use this one. Almost done. So once we have our charts, you can always change it to your liking. Okay, I'm gonna give you the largest to do that on your own. Here we can always add the labels and make it bigger. Okay. All right, so we have that, and our very last data point here. Which one is it? We did medical condition, we did medication, test result. I think we are all set for now. So we have everything sorted out. Okay. So as of now, any question? Okay. No questions. So let's go ahead and build our final dashboard. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call it dashboard. Okay. Have data dashboard. All right. And then at the top here, always start with the title. So how do you insert the title here? Come to insert, and then when you scroll all the way to text here, there is text box. Okay, when you click on text box and you drag it here, you'll see the little icon show up, and when you click on it, the text box will show. And then inside you can type health data analysis or assurance provider. Okay, make it big. So we want to make sure that it covers most of our area here. Don't worry about the grid line. We're going to remove them later. So it will make much more sense. See if I remove them, so it's much more better. But for now, I need them. Okay, so let's play with our data, our title here. How do you wanna make it? Not using a lot of time. We did that. It's bigger. The full length of my screen here. Okay. All right. Can I put it in the middle? Yes. Okay. So now it is in the middle. You can always, I mean, if you wanna color inside. I promise you guys I'm not gonna use a lot of blue. So hopefully I get to keep my promise. Okay. All right. So our first, you put the title there. Okay. next thing we're going to start is by copying the average age, the patient total, and then one other field we did like that was the average length of care. Okay, so before I do that, let me make sure the name is correct. So the name is not correct. So here I'm gonna call it average length of care. Okay. So for the blood type, that's not correct. So I'm gonna call it blood type count and make sure the dashboard is also blood type count. Okay. Admission type. Admission type. It's not chart also admission type. Okay. Always make sure everything is correct. So this chart is medical conditions. Okay. This one is patients total. And I'm redoing it over and over again so you guys can see how I'm doing it. Average age. And then for chart analyze, line charts. Okay. All right. So all our data points are ready. So let's start bringing them in. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. And then I click here, I press the control button. So I wanna copy everything. Okay. Here. This is so average length of care. All right, it's there. Let's copy this one. So we're going to call it instead of count of last name, let's call it patient total. Hopefully work. This is actually my first time using it, doing it this way. All right, so let's do our third one. So average length of care. We had the patient total, and then we had the third one. Oh, average age. Yeah. Average age. Okay. Paste it here. Okay. So average age. Let's make it this. Okay. It's in the middle. Make it there. Change my font to Aptos. Okay. So far it's going well. Wanna add something? No. Um, just leave it as is for now. I'll do that later, see if it matches everything else. Okay, let me go ahead and delete that to put it up there. All right, so let's continue to bring our charts in. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this one. Results. Okay. All right. Okay. And you'll notice that doing a dashboard in Excel is the only place you get to do it manually. Power BI is much more friendly. Tableau is also very friendly. But if you find yourself in a company that can only afford Excel, at least you know your way around on how to build a dashboard manually. Okay, so I have here 1, 2, 3, 4 medical condition, patient total, average age, and then our friends timeline should also come in. So let's go and let's start putting them together. So as I said, my timeline. Okay, first of all, remove that one. How big it has to be. Then if you want your chart to have the same size, you can always come to format, okay, and then toward the end here, you can pick the height of your chart. So I'm gonna put 4.5, no, not by 4. 3.2 and 4.5. Let's see if that works. To also type it here.
This is something.
Now, so since I've already the size of this one here, and then this one here next to it.
Uh-huh.
It was still 3.2, 4.5. Okay. Really is up to you on how you wanna do your thing. Just do this. Okay. It's a lot of work. All right, and then my friend here, let's see if we can squeeze you. Okay, it's up to here. Everybody else, okay, same size. Here, okay, and our friend here. All right. So now, so far, this is our dashboard. Okay, this looks good until now. So let me promise you guys I'm gonna change the colors today. I'm gonna use different colors. Right. Um, do that one, and then our friend here. Okay. All right. So our last step here is to add the slicers. So to do that, let's pick one of the chart here, and then let's see. First of all, we'll add the slicers, which are insurance provider and gender. Okay, and then another important one to add was the timeline or date of admission. Okay, so let's squeeze it over here. We'll probably need some more space. Insurance provider one. Three columns. Okay, and with our gender, and two columns. Okay. Now we have pretty much everything. The very last thing to do here is to connect our timeline and the slicers to all the dashboards to make it an interactive dashboard. Okay. So to do that, you click on this. This is the timeline. Click on timeline where it says report connection. And then I'm going to look at all the dashboards that I have here. Okay. So admission time, average age, average length of care, blood type count, patient total. Okay, where is the line charts? There's a few here that I haven't changed. Okay, so one of my friends here is missing. Hmm. Okay, what? It's showing. Okay. First of all, squeeze it a little. Changing.
Nice.
Perfect.
Mm.
So now, friends here on top are not budging. Okay. Uh, it should go on. Page. Okay, so now let me try it one more time. Report connection.
Average age. LOC. Patient.
Let's see if it changes. Golden, yes. Oh yeah. So everything should move as I move my slicer.
Mm.
Is everything moving? Yes.
Nice.
Magnificent. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the same for the insurance provider. Connect all charts here. Okay, so United Healthcare, Blue Cross.
Yep. Cigna. Medicare. There we go. Nice.
History news. Okay, let's see. The last one is gender. Okay. Kids. Now, oh, awesome. Oh,
Nice.
this is good. Okay. All right. So the last step is to maybe remove lines in the back. If I do that, let me see if I can change these. Okay, these can stay. Okay. Some space. Okay. Let me try to design these. Shape effect. I remember last week, someone asked me if you could do all of it at the same time. I tried that, it doesn't seem to work, so I'm just doing them one by one. Okay, what else? Okay, what else is left to do here? Okay, let me just maybe add some colors in here. That's blue.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
Then finally remove the grid line. So let's just change the. And then one thing also you can look for if you, because each chart have their different have a different font, and then if you want to fix that, you can just, let's try to do it here, select all of them, and then yeah, it's not working, so let's do it individually and then pick a specific font for everybody. So I'm going to put pick Aptos 10 for everyone. Aptos 10 for everybody. Always make sure Aptos 10, and then it should be black. Okay. It's all about uniformity. Okay. Those 10 black. Aptos 10 black. Okay. Aptos 10 we stay white. Okay. All right. I feel like, okay, yeah, something was missing. So the title, we have test results. Billing trend, patient admission by blood type, counts by medical conditions, and then okay, so this is our dashboard. Again, the dashboard is not about, I mean, of course, the way it looks matters, but most of all is to give the user to make to make it easy for the user, you know, to work through, you know. So again, this is, like the title says, F data analysis per insurance provider. So this will just give everything. So let's say we want to do Aetna, okay? We'll pick Aetna, okay, and then we want to do not the quarter, but we want to do year, the whole year 2024, okay? So for the whole year 2024, this is, yes, I guess this is correct. Or no, this doesn't seem correct. Oh yeah, actually it is, because year 2024 is only a few months. Okay, let's say year 2023. Yes, that's like the full year. So for the year 2023, so I picked Aetna, the year 2023. This is how many patients we had in total. The average age for all the patients is here. And then the average length of care for all the patients is there. And then for admission type, you have for emergency, yeah, I need to change the color of this one because you can see it can be a little misleading. I pick one with different colors. Okay, so 36% of patients that were admitted in the year 2023 were emergency, and then other were elective or urgent care. And then the count by medical condition. And we're still in Aetna 2023 for male and female. It was 356 and so on and so forth, and blood type. So if you wanna know only for female or only for male, it also narrow it down to male. So in the whole year of 2023 for Aetna, we had 1,073 male patients. The average age for those male patients was 53 years old, and then they stayed around 15, 16 days. And then these are the test results. So for the male, only 358 were inconclusive, 334 normal, 35% were admitted as emergency. Let's say 183 have obesity, and then so on and so forth. So you can go for Blue Cross, for Cigna, Medicaid. Gives you a handless possibility to do like a deep study, you know. And then if you present this, for example, to your manager or your director, and they tell you, but can be a quick question. Let's say they ask you, okay, so for United Healthcare, I want to know for the first quarter of 2021, how many female were admitted that has asthma as their medical condition. It's very simple. You go to year 2021, still United Healthcare, and then you choose the quarter. We say the first quarter of 2021, it's already filtered United Healthcare, female, and then you go to medical condition and asthma. So 55 women were admitted in the first quarter of 2021 that had asthma as a medical condition. So it really narrowed it down to the single variable. So if they want, for example, for all the medical condition to have a breakdown, you have a breakdown of all the medical condition for the first quarter of 2021, United Healthcare insurance provider, and for female. That's how down it is. And then, so for the total of everybody that was admitted, it was 278 patients, and then the average age was 52, and then the average length of care was about 15 days. So this is the kind of dashboard that you want to give your manager to work with, because they can just find everything they need in the specific data set. Okay, now, any question? That was all right. So let me save this. Okay, and I'm going to share it with the class. So you can try on your own to replicate this, okay, and then to try to work in your final project. Okay, it's not due until the end of the session, so you have a lot of weeks to go through. And then on top of this, the dashboard, you just give me the findings. So let's say you play around with the dashboard, and then you can see, okay, what did you find that was particularly, catching your attention? Okay, was it the fact that in a specific time period, there were a lot of people that were admitted for a certain medical condition compared to others. You know, do people get admitted mostly toward the end of the year, the middle of the year, or in the beginning of the year? Um, there's a lot of data points and metrics to play around, and then so this will mark our last Excel session. And as you can see, to get here, we came from a long way. We started with our data set, started cleaning it, learning how to do VLOOKUPs, learning how to sum, how to do calculation from another worksheet while the data was in another worksheet. We did how to use a pivot table and how to use the pivot charts to build your dashboard and how to make an interactive dashboard that is user-friendly. So I believe we covered the important points. And then yeah, so any question, any concern, anything anyone wants to know about the class or anything?
Bro, do you mind if I share my screen quick?
Oh, yeah. You said you had something. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I just want to share my screen quick. I'm still working on it, but yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, honestly. This is why I'm at. I like to watch your videos after, then I can kind of like go at my own pace slowly.
Nice.
That's what I've been working on. So when
Mm-hmm.
I go through your videos slowly at my own pace,
No, this
but
is good. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I've been enjoying it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I try to catch up with you as we're going. I end up just stopping, like, no, I just have to watch and pay attention. But when I'm doing it on my own, it slowly, thank you very
Mm-hmm.
much. It really helps. I mean, the videos helps a lot. So thank you.
Oh,
Yeah. So
so is it working normally?
yeah, I'm still working on it, but it was just exciting just to get to this
Yeah.
level, you know?
Yeah, this oh, okay, to make the data looks, this is nice. This is nice. I see that you
Yeah.
played with all the design and everything. This is good. This is
Yeah, so
good.
so thank
Mm,
you. So I was looking at for me the most interesting part. I enjoy all of it, but the
mm,
slicer, I like the
mm.
slicer. I like
Ah,
the
okay, because it's easier, right? It makes it
yeah.
everything.
So thank you very much.
No problem. No
All right.
problem at all. Yeah, okay. All right, team. Okay, so we have a little over 30 minutes here. So let me go ahead and let me save um, this. So the next thing, and then we're not gonna do any of it today, is I just wanted to give you a quick introduction into Tableau. So we're just gonna look at the interface, and then next week, then that's when we're going to do the whole thing. And then I will explain to you how to do, actually, let me do that right now. So when you click on Tableau, okay, the actual software icon, this is the first window that pops up. Okay, so on mine, there's all these things because these are the different dashboards that I worked on recently. So it just catching, all of them are still there. So that's why you see everything popping. But normally in yours, nothing should show in this specific window. Okay. So on the left here, you see this darker blue
We
pane.
can
Yes.
we can see your screen. We just saw Francis.
Oh, oh, Oh,
It's just
never mind. Okay. Yeah, I know somebody was sharing.
oh,
Can you see
okay.
my screen now? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can see.
yeah. Yeah, I was saying when you click on Tableau, like this icon here, this window will open, you know, and then normally yours should not have anything because you didn't work in any dashboard recently. But mine
Okay.
have these because these are the dashboards that I worked on recently. So that's why you can see them here. Okay. And then on the left side here, you have a pane that says show the different file that you can connect with. Okay, so when you have the full version of Tableau, there's much more files that you can try to connect. And then if you have Tableau server, it's even endless. Okay. It allows you to use either Microsoft Excel or text file or CSV, JSON file, PDF file, Microsoft Access. But for all the years I've been using Tableau, especially desktop, I usually use Excel or CSV. Okay. So when you click on Excel, it will bring you to wherever you brought you keep your data. Okay. So mine, it's in here, and then this is where I keep my data sets. But for the sake of this class, I'm going to use our data set that we just used. Now I'm wondering if it's going to which one can I use for a quick demo here? Okay. Okay. So now it downloaded. Now I have my this, this window will show normally. Okay. So if you want to, so once you do that, okay, because I'm not teaching Tableau today, I'm just showing the interface. Once you bring your data in and you go to the sheets, okay, so this is our Tableau interface. And on top here, you have the different tabs. Okay, if you want to add a new data source, this is for the worksheet, this is for the dashboard. And then you'll see making a dashboard in Tableau is 10 times easier than what we just did in Excel. This is the story. So in the story, you have many different dashboards that you can use as a presentation. And then this is where the analysis, this is where you can do the aggregate, show the percentage, the totals, and everything. This is for the different map. This is formatting, great tool, very interesting. This is if ever you have the Tableau server and everything. Okay. So on your far right here, when you click on show me, it shows you all the charts that are being used in Tableau. And then this is one of the things with Tableau. It doesn't have a lot of charts to play around with. It's only like the main ones that you can use compared to Power BI. Power BI is like a candy store for data analysts. Like you can do like any chart you ever think of is in Power BI, which is a really great tool for people who like visualizations, like very detailed visualization. Tableau also has its perks, but if really we compare both softwares, I think Power BI has much more charts to play around with. Okay, so now we have the different chart, and then every time you drag and drop, which we can do right now, let's say I want to drop the regions, okay? It will show me all the regions, and then I'm putting the country names. Okay, so for each region here, I have the country name. And then when you drag and drop it like this, Tableau will automatically highlight the dashboard they think the software think will go with the data that you just put in there. And then for this one, basically a map. Okay, either this one, then put region. Just put region in our filter. Again, we'll go over everything, okay? So now the filter here kind of acts as the slicers in Excel. So as you can see here, I put the region filter. Now we filter the map to show only the countries that are in the East Asian region, which is here. So your filters can stay here, or you can click on this arrow here and then click show filter. So when you click on show filter, the filter will appear over here, and then it gives you the opportunity to click and choose many of them, okay? But Tableau also gives you the opportunity to customize your filter. First of all, always make sure to show apply button. So even when you click, it doesn't change until you apply, then it will change. This is really good. It's actually for other data set. And then to save space, you can click on multiple value drop down, and then it will save space like this. So let's say you only want to see the countries from sub-Saharan Africa, you can apply, and everything from sub-Saharan Africa will show. And then if you want the name, you have all of them here. Or if you just want the details, like it was. And then this is Democratic Republic of Congo, Central African Republic. You have Cote d'Ivoire here, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana. So all of them are there. If you want to see Europe and Central Asia, again, this is the broke down from the World Bank. So it's probably different from other institutions, but I mostly work with data from the World Bank. Middle East and North Africa. Until today, I never understood why these countries are just not there. And then South Asia, and then yeah. So this is one of the beauty of Tableau. And then I really like to work with this tool. So here we have the marks. So in the marks, we have the color, the size, the labels, tooltips. We'll go over it. And then so allows you to do what we call calculated field. This is where we will do like to calculate the LOC like we did in Excel. So we'll use like a lot of Tableau, like the date difference, and then we'll pick how many days, and then the start date will be the date of admission. I mean, it doesn't show here because we don't use the data set yet. And then start of the day, you can pick any day, but stuff like that. And then when you do that, it will create a new field here. Also, we have on the left, in blue, we have the dimensions. Dimensions are like categorical variables or strings and only strings, okay? And only other data type like geographical data type and so on and so forth. On the lowest hand here, we have in green, we have anything that is numerical value, you know. So that's how it works. But again, we'll go over it next year. I just wanted to maximize some time here since we are done with Excel to kind of show you what Tableau actually does. Okay. So do we have any question just for this quick intro? So I think we'll end earlier today.